need to go out.
Sorry.
You need to, I should have asked about that earlier. Thank you, Ivan. You need to proactively search for the right people. So if you get your mobile phone and you have the home key, click on the home key so that you've got the feed there. You can do this on your desktop, Wayne, and for those of you who don't use LinkedIn on your phone. And then you can click an enter button in search. Then click on people until you've got the people is green. So are you all at that stage? Let me know in the chat how you're going with that, if that's all making sense to you. Great. So you're all following me so far? How are you going, Annabelle, Peter? Yeah, Vicky? Good to know. And then once you're at that stage there, what I think is fantastic about LinkedIn is you can then click on all filters. Now, the image on the left-hand side, it's not very easy to see all filters. You might need to kind of scroll across. So if you can click to that all filters button, I hope that this will blow your mind, that when you click on all filters, you can sort the 840 million people on LinkedIn, 840 million, by country, by job title, and you can search them. So just put, in there, who would be your ideal client? Just do a search, because it is incredible how you can put yourself in fate's path by attracting the right people to you. How are you all finding that? Can you give me some thumbs up? Can you let me know how you're going? Is it working for you, Tanya? Wayne, are you doing this on your desktop, or have I persuaded you to install LinkedIn on your phone? No, not today, he says, not today. Good on you, Wayne. I'm actually on your side.
Yeah, I know. I do it normally. Sorry, Karen. I normally do it on my laptop. So I'm struggling a bit on the phones, and I'm trying to.
You can do it on your laptop, because I just wanted to demonstrate how easy it is to put yourself in fate's path. So see how you're going with it.
Yeah, I think, can I rather focus on what you're doing so that I can see how to do it? I think I'm going to
absolutely. Now, Linda, Claire, and anybody else who's struggling to follow all of these, reach out and let me know. And Maria, do you want to unmute yourself and let me know how you're going with all this?
Hello, I'm on creator mode, and when I tap on search, I just have today's news and views popping up. I don't have this.
Yeah, you would have it in the home screen. So it's in the search bar. So for any of those that are struggling, reach out and let me know. Connect with me on LinkedIn or send me an email. I'll share my details at the end, and I can send you a copy of the slides. Okay?
Sorry, Karen, if I can just mention, when I was on my home screen, I couldn't see it either. And so in the search bar, I put people and search.
Yes.
Then the bar that you were talking about came up in case.
Yes, absolutely.
Oh, wow, that's great.
So if you just go back to, sorry, where are we there? So
and
see
the
home and then people. So home and people. But for those that are struggling, thank you, Lewis, for letting me know that you're doing it while on the bus. For those that are struggling, reach out, let me know, and I can always send these to you, send the slides to you. Now, you can also personalize invites on mobile, and this is something that I don't think a lot of people are realizing. And as Maria said, she's on creator mode, so too am I, which means that the default button is not connect, it's follow. So for those of us who have follow, we're that much harder to connect with, but easier to follow. So it's kind of two sides to that coin. You can click on more or three dots. So see where the yellow arrow is pointing to three dots. If you click on there, you can then personalize invitations to connect. This works the same on desktop by clicking on the three dots, or by clicking on more, which is situated where that button is. You can then personalize invitations to connect. And it is important to personalize invitations to connect, because if we're not personalizing invitations to connect, then it's that much harder to be leaving that first impression. So when we think about profile, people, and prevail, can I just get get you all to mute yourselves? I think somebody's just unmuted. I can hear a rustle of paper. So if you could all mute yourselves, that would be fantastic. Thank you. So I think it's great to be personalizing invitations to connect. And something I'm often asked is, what do you say? How do you reach out to people? And these are just a couple of templates, if you like, that you can use to reach out to people. So think about something that is very personal and very focused on the other person. You certainly never want to pitch in a message. I really love to have contact details because I'm all about flattening the path to being contacted. Text Expander is a mobile phone app. So you can put Text Expander on your phone or on your desktop. And it just means that you can just type in a couple of characters and it will drop a whole load of text there. So if there's something that you're doing, like adding your signature to everything, where it's your name, you know, what you do, and your phone numbers and contact details, you can use Text Expander to do it. So it's a really neat app. Les, as the time efficiency expert, I think you're going to love Text Expander. I think you're going to love it. Now, note that I do have, it'll be great for you and great for all the people that you train. And note that I put 2 different position titles for myself. I've got LinkedIn profile writer and LinkedIn trainer. I think it's really important to think, as we're talking to people, you know, what would they think of us as? And to sort of put yourself in a couple of different buckets, just so that you're constantly reminding people of what you do. Now, I've often heard it said that if you're not personalizing invitations to connect, if we think of LinkedIn as a networking event, it's as if you're slipping your business card into somebody's back pocket and quickly running away before they have a chance to turn around. So I think it's really important, you know, once you've connected with people, like, what do you do? From what I hear, a lot of people ignore people. Let us know in the chat if you don't. Do you reach out to them? Or do you then, like many, just get stuck and go, okay, I've connected with somebody who could potentially be a client of mine. What do I do now? So let us know in the chat what you do and how you find that. You reach out, fantastic. I think it's quite, you know, Les and I think we're lucky, Les, because I think we're quite comfortable reaching out to people, but I think for a lot of people, they don't know what to say. And they think, I don't want to, you know, and you don't ever want to put a cold sales message out there. You don't want to, what they call pitch slap. You don't ever want to pitch slap people. You really want to go gently in terms of building that relationship. So thinking about what you do offline and doing that online, but slowing it way, way, way down. So you can reach out to random strangers with a personalized invitation to connect, talking about, you know, we're in similar industries, or I see we've got a large amount of connections in common, something like that. And you can reach out and you can connect with them. And then once you've connected to them, you can think about leaving a voice note. So if you type into your search bar on LinkedIn the name of somebody you're connected to, that might be Les Watson, it might be Ivan K, K-A-Y-E, it might be me, Karen Tisdell. But reach out and just type in somebody who you are connected to. You can only do this on mobile. I'm afraid you can't do it on desktop, Wayne. And just type in somebody's name and then click on messages. And in the bottom right-hand corner, you'll see a little microphone button. And you can only do this on the mobile phone app. So if you're putting into your mobile phone, you're Googling LinkedIn and opening LinkedIn that way, it won't work. You do have to install the mobile phone app. You've then got a blue button, and that means that you can record a voice note to somebody. If you start recording it, so you're depressing the blue button and it's recording that voice note, and then suddenly the kids burst into the room, the dog starts barking, you have a coughing fit, you know, all those things can happen, right? And you think, oh, I didn't want that to send. You can just swipe to the left or swipe to the right and it will delete your message. So I quite like, once I've connected to somebody who's a complete stranger and I don't know them at all, but I would like to, I never, ever do a cold sales message. That's not okay, ever. Even if you'd known them for ages, I still don't think it's okay. I then leave them a voice note. And so what that looks like, I've got 1 minute to record a voice note. And I use a sandwich framework. So a sandwich being thank you. It starts with a thank you and it ends with a thank you. And in the middle, Barbara, we went through this, didn't we? So, and I hope you've been doing it. So start with a thank you, end with a thank you. And in the middle, you're mentioning very casually what you do, but it's got to be really light and it's got to feel almost incidental. So you've got to sort of mention it, but not be pushy about it. If you're recording a voice note and there's lots of ums and ahs, then that's going to sound even more authentic, and that's okay. What you don't want to sound like is a polished salesperson. So a voice note might look like, let me leave one. I'm going to leave one for Ivan. Is that okay, Ivan? You won't mind, will you? So are you all following me so far? Can you all see that blue button?
Good. I've just actually sent one to Robert Allen that just tested out. It's a brilliant thing. So at the message on the right-hand side, a little microphone, press it. It's so easy.
Press on the blue button, it starts recording, and you can see if I then swipe to the left, it deletes it. Okay, so what I do is I stand up to do this, so it drops my diaphragm lower and just means that the first thing people hear is not me going, because the Darth Vader impression is never cool. Okay, so you don't want people to hear you breathing, so deep breath in. And it also means that your voice will go down at the end of the sentence if you breathe in and then start talking on the out breath. And that means that it doesn't sound like you're asking a question. Hi, Ivan. Thank you so much for accepting my invitation to connect. I really appreciate it. You can see I'm a LinkedIn profile writer. If there's anything I can ever help you with around LinkedIn, let me know. But I'm just reaching out because I just really wanted to say thank you so much for accepting my invitation to connect. I really do appreciate it and really thrilled to have you in my network. So thanks so much. Really appreciate it. Take care. Hope you're staying warm. Bye. So think about leaving people voice notes. I never ask a question about,
Karen, what I might do is just replay what you just said on my one.
It'll just sound the same though.
Exactly. I just want to just show you that I've done it.
I really appreciate it. You can see I'm a
LinkedIn
profile writer, etc. So think about leaving voice notes for people. It's also something you can do for somebody that you haven't spoken to for a long time. So think about leaving a voice note and connecting with somebody who maybe you haven't spoken to for a decade or 5 years. How do you broker that difference? Think about reaching out and saying, thank you so much for accepting my voice note. Gosh, we haven't spoken for so many years. It's been crazy, hasn't it, the last couple of years? I hope you're keeping okay. You can see I'm an XYZ. If you ever have any questions about that, let me know. But just want to say thanks so much for accepting my invite. So something like that. So think about reaching out to your network and being memorable. Now, let me know as well in the chat, how many of you are meeting people face to face? Are you like me and staying in your Ugg boots and comfy elasticated waisted trousers? Tanya knows I'm having a fashion quandary at the moment, Tanya Tepperson. So let me know in the chat, what are you doing? Are other people leaving the house or are they staying home? Oh, it sounds like some are, some aren't. I think I'm getting an equal split. How are you reading this, Ivan? Do you reckon we've got more ones than twos? I know you love meeting people. I love staying at home. I do. Yeah. Interesting. So I think many of you, we're leaning a little bit towards
what I'm actually going to do on
people
LinkedIn,
meeting.
And a little trick that I've got on LinkedIn is like I use polls a lot. So I'm going to create a poll and post, are you meeting in person? In the chat, 1 or 2. I'm going to create a poll on LinkedIn just to see whether it can work.
We could do, but I'm conscious of the time too. And I think everybody's already answered. And we've got
it's all good.
Mostly a 1. I think we've got mostly a 1 here. I reckon most people are leaving the house. I think I'm alone in staying home and loving my Ugg boots. I think I'm alone in that. So for those of you that are leaving the house, I think it's really important to think about connecting with people on your mobile phone, and how you can do that other than talk to somebody and say, let's connect on LinkedIn. What's your name? You know, I've been talking to you for half an hour, but what's your name again? And how do I spell that? Is you. So rather than do that on LinkedIn, what you do, and I find this really, really Jane Smiths out there, and you know, you're like, oh, I don't know which one you are, is you can just press enter in the search key. And can you then see that second signal along? You can see that strange little sign in the corner, and it will bring up your QR code. So how are you going with that? Is that working for you, Robbie? Ken, are you in the same camp as Wayne? Don't have LinkedIn on your phone? That's a wise thing, I'm sure. Okay. Now, so how's that all working for you? So when you bring up your QR code, this means that you can, at an in-person event, one person can be the scanner, and the other person, you're struggling with it on your phone. You haven't got it, Tanya? No. So if you just go back to the search bar and just press enter in the search bar, so just tap it in the search bar. Good on you, Wayne. I really applaud that. It's really important for your mental health. I've actually uninstalled my email from my phone too, but I still have LinkedIn on it. But I don't have my email anymore, because otherwise I'm really with you. I think it's so important that we do take time to just hear the silence and reflect. Too much of our life is far too fast, so I'm with you on that. Is it working for you now, Tanya? Have you got it?
Yeah, I've got the QR code now.
QR code. So if you are face to face with somebody, you could say, you know, you guide them in doing that, and they can be the scanner, or you could be the scanner, and it just means you can scan their QR code.
Right. Okay.
And it will go straight through to their profile.
Wow.
So it's a really great, I love that tip, Douglas. That's fantastic. Thank you.
Thank you.
So think about how we connect with people. And think about making sure that you've got quite a wide range of reaching out to people and constantly growing your network. So thinking about your profile, I've only got a couple of tips to share with you today, because we could spend ages on LinkedIn, and I think it's more important that we get to know people. And I do have a lot of free resources. So thinking about your profile, thinking about the foundational parts of your profile and what matters most, there are so many different parts. There's also this big thing about, what about creator mode? What about your featured section? You know, there's so many different parts that's pretty much now turning into an hour-and-a-half conversation just in itself. So if you would like some free LinkedIn tips, please do reach out, and I will send you a whole load of resources that will help you to improve your profile. So reach out if you'd like that. Just to cover two key parts on LinkedIn: your headline, which is the bit that sits underneath your name. If you haven't altered that, the default is just your title. It tells me nothing about you, and it's quite to be blunt, it's quite a bland first impression. You've got 220 characters in there. So think about front loading it. So putting in the front part of your headline, the first sort of 40 characters, bits that are really important to who you'd want to attract. So what is it you want to do? Who do you want to impress? What is it they would search for? That might be your job title. But think about the name of your company. Does that actually describe what you do? Is that really worth putting in the first 40 characters? Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. Barbara's business, Anywhere Travel, that's fantastic. I know what she does. But so many other organizations, at BBG, if you just put BBG, people will be going, what's BBG? Like, I don't know what this. So think about break.
Oh my God.
Could I just get everybody to mute themselves if that's okay? Thank you. So think about putting in your headline bit.
Sorry, if you can unmute Karen. Karen, if you can unmute, I've just
Thank
muted him.
you.
Okay, well, good.
I bet my husband wishes I had a mute button. So think about putting in there, as you can see from my headline, I've got quite a loud voice. So I make a joke about that. You know, now you can probably hear my cat chiming in. So think about putting in, you know, something quirky and interesting at the end that can be a nice conversation starter, but make sure that you keep it very business at the front and very focused on what you do. The other bit's that background banner. So the background banner sits behind your photo. And if you don't alter that, the default is just a gray bland that says nothing about you and what you do. So thank you, those volunteers. I hope that Mark and Chris are with us today. I haven't seen them in the Zoom thing, but I have asked permission to show these background banners. And I think it's really important that you do have a background banner. And if your company's missing that branding opportunity, they haven't bothered creating anything on Canva that's got their logo in it, and they haven't shared that with you, you can go just Google, just put into Google LinkedIn free images, and you will get so many different choices. Nick Porter's, the top right-hand side, it's a free image. He's a client of mine from like about 8 years ago. And we just found that image and uploaded it. Super easy to do. Now I have a graphic designer who creates all of those and that sort of thing. But, you know, we just did it for free online, super easy. Mark, I love that he's got some words in it. And I love that he's also got an image there that typifies what he does. V changes hers. She's changed hers quite recently, but hers is always tech, and there's always something that's female or women in there. She always gets that in, you know, and Chris has got his company name. So think about having a background banner. If you are going to put your company name in there, that make sure that you have a very strong image that describes what it is your business does. Without that context, it can be really hard to know. Now, your headline image. I thought about finding different IT ones, but I thought, oh, people will just fixate on it. And I didn't want anybody to be copying other people's headlines. I think this has got to be something that comes from you. So I'm showing you some different engineers here. So when we think about the headline, you could use various different position titles. You could use acronyms that are frequently searched for, such as AutoCAD, or if you're a board director, it would be GAICD. If anybody's searching for a board director, they're going to search in Australia for GAICD. So think about what is it that people would search for if they were wanting to find somebody like you. You know, so thinking about having all of the right keywords. You could use, as Harry has at the bottom, emojis, little symbols to separate them, or you could use pipes. The pipe sits above the enter key on my keyboard. So think about sort of separating them and have as many keywords in there as you can. You've got 220 characters, so why not use them? Now, you'll see my QR code there. So if you just go into your phone, you can do what we did earlier, and you can just do the scan bit and you can bring it up and it will take you straight through to my profile if you wanted to give that a whirl. So I hope that makes sense. Now I'm going to hand back to you all. Thank you very much, everybody, for listening to me share my favorite topic, LinkedIn. Please do remember the 3 Ps: profile, people, and prevail. They're so key to our professional success.